Swing Bada. Kennedy, Swing Bada. What's up, peoples? What's going on? Welcome back. Thank you once again for tuning in. And if you see me on the screen, you already know what time it is. It's time for another episode of Eddie G's Comic Culture. That's right. And I'm your host, the one and only Eddie G, here bringing it to you live and in full effect, as I always do. And when have I ever failed? Thank y'all for tuning in. First things first, welcome to the spot. Welcome to the show. Hope y'all make yourselves comfortable, kick your feet up. If you're a first timer stopping by on the episode, let me just let you know right about now, this is a show that's dedicated to all things pop culture, comic books, movies, video games, music, television shows, things of that nature, from the past to the present, and also the future as well. Before I start anything, if y'all know, everyone that already been here beforehand, y'all already know the deal. When y'all show up, I always throw my shout outs. First things first, the show is still sponsored by the great folks over at Black Apparel. So make sure you check out the website at www.blackapparelblk.com. They've got some brand new tees that just came out the other day. I see my boy, shout outs to Kevin, my brother. He's got some brand new drip for you guys. So make sure you stop over the webpage and pick up some good stuff out. He's got some dope designs. A special shout out to especially my Instagram family, Dennis Knight, Ray Ravello, Nerdy Bleb TV always, as well as AJ Reacts. Make sure you check out his videos and his YouTube channel as well. He's got some great content for y'all. And Cross Comics, Channel 3 Productions, everybody, thank you. I appreciate the love, and everyone else that's especially for the new subscribers as well. Welcome, thank you. And let's get this baby started already. So, if y'all already know, I've been doing my promos as of recent. I'm actually been reviewing, taking some talking points down for my review of El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Yes, the long-awaited film. Breaking Bad has been a staple in television. It's actually considered by quite a few publications, me personally, myself, as one of the greatest TV shows of all time, if not the greatest television show of all time. And the backstory basically of Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, and his bout with terminal lung cancer, and his venture into the criminal underworld as he builds an empire selling crystal meth, and all the characters and encounters that he's gone through. And it takes you for a wild ride for 5 seasons. And basically just a pristine show. It's a classic, and it's a classic in its own right, and it deserves it. Vince Gilligan has done a fantastic job since the very beginning with this program. The man has got quite a few notches under his belt in Hollywood, so definitely, he deserves the respect for that. And with the work that he's done recently with Better Call Saul, it was basically, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought that with Better Call Saul, I thought they kind of put the Breaking Bad movie in the back burner for quite some time, because I didn't think it was gonna be so long for it to come out, but they did. It finally dropped. They came out this Friday, and I gotta tell you, it is a very solid film. Starting off at the bat, I'm just gonna give it to you right now straight. It's about a 9. I'd give it a 9.0 out of its 1 to 10. 10 being the greatest, a 9.0. And it's a great fan service film. I gotta tell you guys that it does. It has a few weak points here and there, but we'll get to that in a few. The movie starts basically. The movie's basically, taking off exactly where the final episode of Breaking Bad left off at, and it follows Jesse into as his escape from the cage, as you remember, when he was working with Jack and Todd, and when they had him slaving out for for making meth, and it shows he finally, it gives you that focus as to what finally happens, because everybody was asking for quite some time, what the hell happened to Jesse Pinkman after that whole shit went down, after that massive gunfight where Walter had everybody set up and basically killed, and so on and so forth. So this movie actually does everything in its power and then some to answer those questions. And I gotta say that it was a very, very well rounded. The movie, this film stuck out to me. It definitely stuck out to me. I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me. I didn't I didn't know what to expect. In all honesty, I really didn't know what to expect as to what was going to go on, where they were going to go with it. I just knew it was going to be something heavy, and boy, did it deliver! It really delivered, and I got to tell you, right off the bat, the best thing about the film is Aaron Paul. He carries this film so well with his acting. He's got such great chops when he's on the screen because you from the moment he's on screen and it's go time, you start feeling for him, you sympathize for him because of all the shit that he went through, or especially throughout the series, and the encounters that he has, the crossings that have happened to him because Walter dissed him. Walter White played him out, screwed him over big time, had his girlfriend killed in the series. Damn, I forgot her name. And he poisoned her little baby son, her son too. He wasn't a baby, but he poisoned her son almost to a point of death, almost to the brink of death, and it was driving Jesse nuts. And it was punishment for Jesse for escaping the game at that time. So when this movie takes off, as I said, you really see a very different Jesse Pinkman, a very jaded Jesse Pinkman, if you could say that, and that's just putting it lightly. He's very paranoid. He's not trustworthy of nobody, and he's out to get his because the movie, it starts off like I said, it's him breaking out of that very final moment, that final gunfight that went down, and the cops are looking for him. The cops are definitely looking for him. He's on the run, big time. So in this process of him, he links up with his boys, Skinny Pete and Badger, who was such a welcome surprise. I gotta tell you, when they opened up, I loved it. When you see them, if you're a Breaking Bad fan, and you see that opening scene with Badger and Skinny Pete, you're gonna love it. You're gonna fall in love with it all over again. It was just like watching another. It's just like they added a really special episode for Breaking Bad, and it's just the chemistry was still there. Nothing changed. Nothing shifted. Aaron Paul, like I said, he was a tour de force in this movie. He's a force to be reckoned with in this bitch, because he really brings that emotional depth and character to the game. Because it's a little strange seeing Jesse without Walter. So we were a little bit. I guess I was a little paranoid, skeptical about that, because I was like, okay, all right, but I'm pretty sure there are gonna be some nods to Breaking Bad, which there were. There definitely were, but I was just a little nervous at the fact that is Aaron Paul really going to be able to do this whole film by himself, and so on and so forth. And he did. He really did. And my complaints, like I said, that it's a great. Without getting into too much spoilers, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys if you haven't seen it yet. It really shines a light as to what he learned. I got to tell you this. This is what my favorite part of this movie was. Okay? The fact that Jesse's character, he escapes, he's out in the world again, he's looking to reclaim himself, clean up his life, and get another chance. And in the process of doing so, as I said, he's trying to run away from the law. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The changes that you see happen in Jesse Pinkman are very evident in this film. From all the moments and from every high paced, every high octane moment in this movie, you see Jesse using it like it's clear that he took everything that Walter White did, his whole method of planning, his whole method of cold calculated, of cold calculated planning and preparation. Jesse adapted that, and he adapted that tenfold, which kept him so great in this movie, because he was able to think on the spot and be 2 steps ahead of everybody, which means you are not catching him slipping no matter what. No matter what. He knew what the stakes were. He knew how to handle people. He knew what he's been through. He knew what to be afraid of and not to be afraid of. In other words, Jesse was at the point where he had nothing to lose and everything to gain. And it showed in this performance, so much so. It's such a fantastic fantastic show, film in that respect, in that retrospect, that you get to see that growth of character from Jesse, and what he does to have to become his own man again, to try to reclaim his life again. Now, I'm gonna say one of the slight flaws that I had in the movie was a bit of the pacing, and it's not that I was really, you know, it's not that I was too invested in it like that. As far as like I wasn't bothered by it too. I wasn't bothered by the pacing. It was just it definitely wasn't noticeable. There's a and in the beginning of the film, its primary focus is on a villain, and I don't want to blow that up for you guys either. So, but its definite primary focus is on a villain and its impact, the impact that that this particular villain has on Jesse's life and his psyche, and although it was a beautiful, it was a it beautifully elaborated what it was, and what it created as far as Jesse's psyche was concerned, but it kind of it did kind of drag on that for a little bit. That's the only thing about it. That, and it's, what I'm saying, but it's because it's such a legendary. These characters are so they're epic, they're legendary. You're not gonna mind that. In all honesty, you're really not gonna find yourself minding that. So, with that being said, it was actually very solid from start to finish, with with that little hiccup here and there. But the fact that was really mesmerizing about this movie was how Jesse was just not allowed. You're not gonna catch me slipping at all, at all. Like, you're not gonna catch me lacking at all, which was so dope. It was so dope because throughout the series, if you remember in Breaking Bad, Jesse was a bit of a fuck up in the game. He really didn't have to. He didn't really. He was sloppy at the time, you know what I'm saying, but also that was due to the fact of him using as well. So a lot of the times he made a lot of bumbling mistakes, even though Walter White did his own. Heisenberg did have his own set of screw ups from time to time as well, but Jesse also did. He was basically like the louse, the comic relief, I guess you could say, in that sense, because he was constantly, there was always some shit that went on with him. And whether it was his personal, and it was always like, it always revolved around his personal life, mind you. So that was kind of like, okay, so how is Jesse gonna, when people, when I was thinking about it, like, how is Jesse gonna break out of that? How is Jesse gonna, grow and move forward from what had happened to him in the last season? And it really elaborated beautifully as to how you saw him grow. It really, the emphasis was just there on Jesse, and it was all through his point of view. It was all through his point of view. This whole movie is carried by his point of view, is in his perspective. So that was also what was so great about it. I guess that's kind of like I noticed that in a similar, like, there was that was the one similarity that I noticed, because I just saw the film last week as well, was Joker, and both, like I said, both films are point of view films. One with Joaquin, and the other one with Aaron Paul, and it really did a fantastic job of bringing that. It was and what was most important was that it left me very satisfied at the end with the closure that Jesse got. Like I said, this is a hard spoiler for me, because not a hard spoiler. This is a hard review for me, because I don't want to toss out no spoilers. I don't want to give away any spoilers whatsoever to you guys. If you already seen the movie, great. Hit the comment section, but please try to keep if you have any comments or questions, just make sure you try to keep it on the, just try to keep it a little bit on the hush hush with certain things. But this movie really did it for me as far as a great fan service. And it's a lot. I've seen some other reviews and critics saying the same thing. It's like, oh, it does a great fan service, but that's about it. I was like, well, basically that's the point. I thought that was the point of this film. It was a fan service, a great send off for to cap off one plot hole, I guess you could say, in the conclusion of the series, because we all knew what happened with Walter. We knew what happened with his personal life and everyone else, and God knows what, because they all got smoked at the last scene anyway. But Jesse was always that little hole in the envelope that you really couldn't just seal up, and this movie was the duct tape to actually close the letter. And that's a nice little pun that I made there. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you'll know what I'm talking about when you watch the movie. So all in all, it was a very, very well made film. I love Vince Gilligan. He did the classic Breaking Bad time lapse shots with the with the forward moments and shit. But which was also a great callback to the original series, mind you. I felt that one struck home to me. I was like, wow, because that was always one of those things about Breaking Bad that was very attractive to me as far as the show is concerned. It really like the background shots and how it focused on that, and then of course the time lapsing, in the video in the series. It really it really gave you that it really got you into the show with that. So that was really great, and Vince Gilligan did not disappoint. He wrote and directed this film, and it's I want to talk about it with you guys so badly, but because I just don't want to give you any spoilers away. You guys definitely need to see this. If you are a Breaking Bad fanatic or a Better Call Saul fan, please make sure you watch this film. It is a definite must. But like I said, with the certain slight, like the only slight that I had, the only slight problem I had was just a slight, was just a bit of the pacing. That's all. That's all. Not major. Not major. But other than that, it was a very well made film. Very good. I gotta give it a 9.0. Solid, solid, solid. Hell, I'm probably gonna even watch it again tomorrow, see if I could catch anything else. I meant to watch it again tonight to see about catching any more Easter eggs, because I did know, I've seen a few articles about catching Easter eggs to Breaking Bad, and there's a lot of them. That was another thing about this. That was another thing about this movie that was really great about the fan service, was that there was a lot of callbacks to the series. So you will see you will see flashbacks from the show in the film, which was great. Because like I said, for it to be for it to be considered the greatest show of all time, we all miss these characters. We wanted to know what was gonna happen. Like we just, in some way, we got to somewhat visit them in Better Call Saul, but we really got to really visit them in El Camino. So with that being said, guys, it's a beautiful movie. Make sure you check it out. If you have any questions or comments, you already know, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit that like button and let me know. Make sure you turn on those post notifications, because I will be dropping some more stuff. And as I said before, let me know what was your thoughts on the movie. What did you think? How did you like it? If you didn't like it or not, were you satisfied with the ending? Like I was satisfied with the ending. Please let me know. This was a great episode talking with you guys. I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe and God bless. Peace.